evening. You're listening to and looking at Ask Welfair Rights. Maureen will be here in about 2 seconds. But I want to remind you that this is WHPR, and we want you to call in and participate. The two numbers, I don't see them listed below, but I'm going to give them to you, is 313-868-0351 and 868, which one are we using? 4336. The website is www.tv33 on your internet. It's www.tv33. Yeah, that's what I said, Maureen. You stay over there doing what you're doing. You see Maureen over there trying to run everything. www.tv33whpr.com. We hope that you would call and let's participate and make the program a hot program.
Happy birthday to you.
What do you bring?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Marianne. Here's your favorite biscuit.
Ain't this something?
Happy birthday
Thank you.
to you.
Thank you. My birthday is tomorrow. Hey. Thank you.
So you get to be a certain age, you can't deal
I
with
knew he
cakes
was coming in here
and
to get
pies
this
and
biscuit.
I got my birthday kiss.
I didn't want you to tell
None of
him.
old folks can come to the studio.
just barely.
Hey, that's why we're sending you home right now.
See?
Thank you.
All right, you get to that certain point in life where you can't eat those cakes and those pies anymore, and all that salt and all the rest of that stuff.
You
And
got
Marion
that
and
right.
I have a real love affair with these biscuits that you get from Kentucky.
Kentucky Fried.
And fried. They taste good. So I didn't have a candle, and nobody in here has a candle, and that's good because we don't want no fires in the station.
Please.
So I thought I'd buy you your favorite, a
I like that.
biscuit. So,
Thank
you know, that's not going to bother you. Happy birthday, my dear.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. I want to remind you that the numbers are down below, the same numbers I gave you, and that's 313-868-4336 and 313-868-0351. Remember to turn your TV down when you call. Some of you call, Maureen, listen, and they think it's you and I that have the problem on this side. But
No.
a lot of time it's you because you have forgotten to turn that TV down.
And you hear that echo.
Please have pencils and paper. These days, you better have a pencil and paper to be able to survive to the next day. Okay, Maureen.
All right,
I
a couple
got-
of things I want to share with you. Some of this stuff you don't know about yet. But, there's an event that's coming up on the 29th. Okay, that's June 29th, and that's is that on a Wednesday? I forgot what day of the week it is now, but June 29th. And let's see, what day is that? Today is the 15th, and 7 would be the 22nd. It's Friday. Okay, so
But
it's on a
next-
Friday, not next week, but week after next, 29.
Okay.
So 2 weeks from tonight. And it is a think tank of
You told me
persons from the community, from the neighborhoods, and the college has invited some folks from around the country that say they've been successful in providing quality education for middle and low income communities.
Now, what
And
college are
have
we
to
talking
do,
about?
Wayne County Community College. Now, this event is on a Friday, and we want to invite all of our TV33 viewers and listeners to come on with your ideas. We're going to be and this is very unusual, Marion, the college has rented some space at MGM.
Oh, MGM. that's
MGM,
right.
you know, and the food is to die for there, you know. So we're going to have breakfast there. Says starts at 8 o'clock, but really starts at 9. If you want to have breakfast in the morning, you'll get there between 8 and 8:30.
So it's in the morning.
Yes, in the morning. It's on a Friday, the 29th, 2 weeks from today. And the subject it's called the Urban Summit. And this is the third one. And the focus is, what do we need to do to get these kids educated? Now, it's two things I want to share with you, Marion. There was a survey taken by a lady and a group of folks called BEAT, B-E-A-T, Brightmore Educational Alliance, and I think it says team, B-E-A-T. And they put out a survey to ask kids, and it just breaks your heart, Marion, ask kids, K through 12, if you're having problems in education, or if you know someone that's struggling with challenges with education, what is the reason for the challenge? And Marion, the overall majority said trauma. Now, they didn't say trauma, but they said family problems. What are you talking about? My cousin got shot. My dad was laid off. He didn't find a job. He left. These kind of things. And I'm connecting this to the story I'm getting ready to tell you right now. Young man, he's in the 10th grade at my school. We're not going to call a name. And back in August and September, his mom called to say she might need a little direction in terms of some light and gas problems she was having. So as I got into the conversation, I could tell that, so what's going on here? And we got deeper and deeper. And I won't give her name either, because I don't want to destroy this family any more that is destroyed right now. And what she said is that she'd been struggling and didn't have any money because she was at stage 4 breast cancer.
Oh my God.
So you know how you hear that and you understand what the nuances are of that kind of information.
How many children?
And an older one, I think 4. And so we talked quite a bit. We talked several times after I found out, Marion, that she did not have any income. And I knew that Social Security at SSI was supposed to do something about that. And I asked her about it. She said she had applied a couple times, but for whatever reason it wouldn't go through. So I asked her if she minded if I tried. She said, yeah, but, ain't nothing going to happen. So I didn't make any bones about it, and as soon as I hung up the phone, I started calling my crew over at Social Security right away. Sent the information in, put the application in as best as I could, set her up with a phone call, and her SSI was approved. And I knew she was going to get a lump sum in the beginning because she had been sick for so long, and the onset of her circumstances had been months. And she called me, I got the letter, and I'm getting this, and I don't know, my kids haven't had anything, and I'm going to splurge. And I said, stop. I said, stop. Let's review your circumstances. You're in a condition. I pray. I say, well, people that pray, and I pray too. Sometimes God calls people that pray. That's just what happens. I say, so now you have an opportunity. You got a lump sum of money coming. You got an additional $773 that's going to show up at your house. These children are going to be eligible for Social Security. You have to make financial decisions right now as if tomorrow or the next day you'll be gone. You have to make those decisions. What are you saying? I told you, you know what I'm saying. I don't know how long this circumstance that you're dealing with is going to last, but you have to treat it like it is an emergency, and tomorrow I won't be able to make any decisions. She took that advice. She got that money. She bought those things she needed to get, some splurges for the kids, took care of the Social Security for the babies, and she left yesterday. And now we got another traumatic situation where this, the one that I'm closest to, he devastated by this, and who wouldn't be? He's in the 10th grade, so he's about 16. Yeah. And he's just, and it's just the kind of thing why I want as many people as possible to try to get to this urban summit. It's a cost to it. It's $150 per person. But I can waive everybody and anybody that wants to go, and you don't have to pay for it. It's that important. We have to come up with some ideas. These kids are not able to read as well as they should, Marion. And it's a problem with that. When I went to the partners meeting, I said this. The folks at DTE are complaining, and they're calling me, and I'm trying to send them down to Welfare Rights. And the message is, we don't have a pool of workers that are savvy and skilled enough that we can hire them. And so, I'm arguing with them, set up special classes down at WC3. They did. We're going to send some people down there to sign up for classes so they can be taught specifically how to do electrical work and come out with a electrician's license, not a certificate, a license. How to come out with skilled trades. And it's 5 or 6 skilled trades opportunities. Marion, I probably sent 30 kids down there.
What
and
happened?
adults and their sisters and brothers. Of the 30 that I recommended, and I talked to every one of them, Marion, 3 showed up. And those 3, I told them, I'll break your leg if you leave the class. 3 out of at least 30. And I called the others, why didn't you go? Well, I was afraid, and I was late and the bus didn't come, and I didn't have the right clothes, and all of these excuses, but they're excuses because they're afraid and they don't want to go forward. And it's just, I don't know how our kids got like that. Too afraid to go
the system
forward.
that we live in,
Oh,
Maureen.
goodness.
People always ask us about why people don't come down and take advantage of certain utility programs. They are afraid to go because they think that if I should go down there and they find out what my name is and where I live, they're going to check that. But they don't. You have the opportunity right now to be able to get some jobs. And
Even
be able
now.
and get some jobs, which is short, and we don't have jobs.
It don't come up often.
And you should take advantage of it. If you don't have to, wash what you have and go down there.
None of this, the bus was late and I didn't go and I got up late and all this stuff. And let me tell you the other thing, Mary.
You could have, we're saying that you need to be down there at a certain time, but if the bus is late, still get on the bus and come.
And go. Yeah. Now, I heard from one of our colleagues, Al, that was telling me he was over at Local 22, and the UAW over there is complaining. And I said, well, what's this complaint about? He said of the last group of young people between 18 and 32, I think is what he said. The last group, Marion, that they hired at Rouge and at Local 22, and I'm not sure,
Well, 22 is Chrysler.
At Chrysler, and I think it was 3 places. They have fired 320 in the last 90 days, and you know why? Late. And you get, 4 times to be late?
Really, 3.
I think, and on the 4th time, you out.
Yeah,
Man, I don't
but
understand.
and the union will fight for you to get you back on, but they can't do that.
Not in your first 90 days.
You have to understand what is going on. They are not gonna. They're gonna look at the totality of
Yes,
what you have done since you've been there. Maybe it's a week.
And you've been late twice in 7 days.
And one other thing we experienced, Maureen.
I didn't have no babysitter.
We have sent people out to Ford Motor Company when we got the call to be able to go and see about taking that exam. They said, I didn't pass it. Go back and do it again.
Yes.
Do it again until they get so sick and tired of seeing you that they're going to hire you.
And the union is backing that. Right now, Navarre is trying to get into, he's taken 2 of the tests already, and there's 2 more classes that he has to take. And Marianne, he can't take the 3rd class because every time he signs up for it, he gets a message from, Henry Ford is contracted with, Henry Ford Community College. And what they do is send a message back to Navarre saying that you have to have at least 6 people to have the class go forward, and only 4 signed up. And see, I don't understand. You and I keep beating our head on the wall. Jen and Jimmy Settles worked out. I still got those books with the questions in it. And I gave one of those books to Navarre. I gave one of those books to 2 or 3 of Navarre's friends. All of them at work. All of them at work. I just don't understand why. And I hear what you're saying, but why don't our community, when we open the door for you, step up? Get in there, because I don't know how many more times, Marion, these opportunities going to come up, So this young man lost his mom and other members of the family, and they're going to have to deal with this. You know, last 2 days, 3 days at Detroit Community is next week. And so I don't know if he's going to get the courage and the heart to come back, but you know, we got to remind him on Monday if he's not
All
in
those
school.
children in that school or what?
Yes,
Well,
yes.
he'll come back because that's their foundation right
Well,
now.
I don't know, but we have to remind them. What did your mother want?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's all that is. What did your mother want? This ain't about, you know, how bad you feel, and I know you do. But this ain't about how you feel. What did your mother want to happen?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing. There's only one answer to that. Mama wanted me to go to school. She wanted me to finish. She wanted me to choose vocational. She wanted me to choose academics. She wanted me to be safe, and she wanted me to be okay. There ain't nothing else to say. I just feel so bad. But that's what the survey came up with. These kids are traumatized.
Yeah,
You know,
they
mama
are.
dead, daddy dead, sister shot, somebody's in jail, evicted. That came up a lot. I had to come home 2 or 3 times, and the lights and gas weren't on, and it was 5 degrees outside. You know, this kind of stuff. So the 29th,
That's why,
I'm going to
Maureen.
say it again, the 29th of June, called, and it's a number, okay, call Welfare Rights.
Yeah, called
Call
9.
Welfare Rights, and we will get you registered, and you have to
Uh-huh.
say something about whether or not you can pay the registration fee. If you need it waived, I can get them waived. So just call, leave your name, your address, and your phone number, Marion, and so somebody could call you back, or you just call directly Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week. So the 29th, 2 weeks from today, not Motor City, MGM Casino, MGM Grand, that's right there downtown. And we're going to see if we can get about 30 or 40 of us.
That should be good.
Helen Moore, We the People, Elena, the School Board in Exile, Lamar Lemons. Let's Larry
You know,
Simmons.
well,
Let's go down
all
there and
those
figure this out.
organizations are working hard to do everything.
I know.
But, you know, take advantage of this, and at least you can have some more income in your household. All right, Maureen, what do we have? We have,
Well, we went someplace yesterday.
well,
We was
yeah,
down at Cobo Hall.
that's where
So
I
why
was
don't you give a report about the press conference?
well, we got a call from D.C. that Reverend Barber wanted to come here and be with us. He wanted to speak he wanted to speak first of all to the Poor People's Campaign and have a press conference. And he said that not him, but who was making the arrangement, they said that Reverend Barber was invited by the UAW, and and he was keynoting at the UAW convention. And I'm glad he called and said that he wanted to see all the people that's in this fight with him, you know, and what have you. And that was early in the morning, Maureen.
Yeah, it was.
We were supposed to have a press conference right there in front of the Cobo Hall. And I was so proud of our people. Early in the morning, at 8 o'clock out there.
Yep.
Who was bringing him in from the airport got a little delayed because of the traffic, but Reverend Barber
And
showed
that
up.
traffic is crazy down there in the
Oh
morning.
yes,
Ooh,
and
Lord
not
have
only
mercy.
in the morning, all day long down there.
Not like it is at 8 o'clock in the
Oh
morning. They're
Lord,
trying
it's
to
terrible.
go to work.
It's
Oh,
terrible.
God.
Reverend Barber showed up, and the crowd went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But they were so happy to see him, and we had a lot of people in the UAW. And I know a lot of them have retired. It just we don't have the people in there that
Like we used to.
we have some of them, like Mike and all them, left, Rory or what have you. The UAW, as of yesterday, elected a new
He's the international president. Isn't he?
president, international president, and his name is
Jones.
Jones. It's his last name. His first name, it'll come to me.
Mr.
Yes, it will come to me.
Mr. Jones.
Yeah, it will come to me. So we were happy that they did reach out and invite Reverend Barber. Lord have mercy. But before he went into Cobo Hall, this man, the man have a hard time getting around. But he stood out there and gave a speech that you could never forget. And the people were not ready to go because the people knew some of them had to go to work and what have you, but they stayed there until Reverend Barber finished. And when he got inside, Maureen,
I heard he lit it up.
oh, he lit it up. Reverend Barber must have spoke for about an hour and a half, and then we were in there, and the people was just jumping up and clapping on practically on everything that he had said. But one of the key things that came out of what Reverend Barber, we've heard this before, have said that black people, Mexicans should have no division, along with low income, poverty stricken whites.
Anybody that's
We should be
moderate
one,
low income, we ought to be one.
just one.
Anybody.
And we need to start standing together. And you know, the people were up on that
Oh
one.
yeah. Oh yeah.
But he talked, Maureen, for an hour and a half. They did not leave. Though a few left, but some of they're gonna have to
He can
suffer
whip it
the
up.
He whipped it up yesterday.
Now, I always try to make it a point to point out to folks whenever I can that it was organized labor, like the UAW, like the SEIU, like the Teamsters, like whoever else it is that's involved with organized labor, that was able to get and lift people out of poverty. Because if not Chrysler or General Motors or Ford or these big corporations, because if you left it up to them, we still be picking cotton for $12 a week.
No, it
But
wouldn't
it
be
was them,
$12.
you know.
It'd be less than that. Even
Well, it
much.
was these organized laborers that had the commitment to hard and the compassion. They knew they was gonna get hurt. Some of them was gonna die.
Out
All
there.
of that happened,
In the
and
front line.
demanded a standard of living for persons, and lifted it up and continued to lift it up higher and higher and higher. So, to have Reverend Barber go down there and stand in front of Cobo Hall when the UAW was inside, that's why all them workers was standing around outside.
Oh, yeah.
Because we walking in lockstep. We ain't got no separation between us.
He
So,
always looking around when he comes. He said, "Where's Maureen and Marion?" But he was so proud to see all the members of our coalition that had showed up that morning, and
I hope we can maybe get a tape or something of what
yeah,
he said on
and,
the inside.
and Reverend
Get Cindy Estrada or somebody.
Reverend Rowe played a huge role.
Yes, he did.
As well as Maureen spoke.
I
And
did.
it was
Valerie Jean.
Valerie Jean.
Sylvia.
Sylvia.
Helped to
I'm telling you,
organize it, yeah.
it is tremendous what is happening and going on
In this country, Mary.
in this country. And you know what? People came out of that thing saying, yeah, we got to help get some buses some kind of way to get people to Washington
23rd.
for the 23rd.
That's the
Because,
end of the
you
40
know,
days.
that's the end of the 40 days, but that is not the end of our fight. We've been up to Lansing 40 days, Maureen, we've been up there 39 days.
Yeah.
Because our 40th day will be here in Detroit. And it has not been easy. We got up early in the morning to be up there to try to approach these people of what they're doing to Michigan.
And let me say this to you, Marion, because I don't know if you saw the news tonight about John Engler. You see it?
Yes.
All right, the
Yeah.
Board of Trustees at University of Michigan and Debbie Stabenow have joined together to say John, son of a biscuit eater,
No, don't mess with
Engler.
Don't say biscuits.
Oh, well, not that biscuit. That biscuit look mighty good, too, don't you? Can put a little butter on that bad
Leave
boy
that
when you
little
get
biscuit
home.
alone. No,
It's
it'll
all
be
right.
gone.
I bought me one, too.
Hey, that little biscuit will be gone.
But they have decided that John Engler is not the kind of person that they need as an interim president of the college. And that's because one of his emails surfaced. And here he is propositioning one of these young girls that got assaulted by Dr. Larry Nasser and saying, if I offer you X amount of dollars, would you be willing to back out of the lawsuit?
Isn't that
And it
something?
came. He just dirt.
He's
He's
dirty.
just trash. He ain't no good. You know, he ain't no good. So I'm thinking, I sure
Oh
hope I
wow.
get a chance to write. Let me write Debbie Stabenow and tell you this why I think you ought to get rid of him. It was John Engler that put legislation together to say that school teachers across this state
Yeah.
are forbidden to strike for wages or for better conditions. If
Mm-hmm.
you do, and then there are consequences for that. That's who did that.
It was John Engler
Ah,
that began to implement the bill around what you call those people that
talking
come
about
in.
closing mental
No,
health?
no.
Which
People
one?
that come into our neighborhood and steal all our stuff. Emergency
Oh, I
manager.
thought you was going to say politicians.
No, it was John Engler that was behind the whole fight to eliminate general assistance. It was John Engler that didn't give a hoot about the people of Michigan.
What about that
But
mental health? He the one that started
and
closing,
the man got mental health.
you know?
It's something mentally wrong with
Well, he
him.
the one that introduced legislation to cut down and to cut out and let's take the money away for mental health institutions. I
Oh
remember that
Lord,
fight,
have
Chris, where
mercy.
Jen got kicked in the knee. I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Over there at the Lafayette Clinic,
yeah.
which
We
was
all
one of
were
the
over there.
finest mental
Mental
health
health institution.
institutions in the country. People could go in there and stay for weeks and months
State
and
police
get some help.
kicked my husband right in the knee.
I'll never forget that. That was, ooh, Lord have mercy. But that was John Engler. But, Mary, tell me, how is it that the worst kind of fascists and those that are willing to be fascists, how is it that they always keep each other's phone numbers? Must be on the Rolodex or something. Because how they find John Engler's phone number?
They
He been
keep
gone for
that.
how long?
They keep that.
Must go under the F's.
Huh.
And find Fink. Ain't that what they call them? A fascist or something like that. 868-4336.
Oh.
868-0351. Is there anybody out there? Should Marion and I and Junior, should we just lock up and go home? Are you there? Go ahead,
The
Marion.
line is not.
That guy.
That guy is sickening.
And I guess that's his son.
Because
What?
earlier today they were trying to get people to call in and give their opinion. Should John Engler be fired or what have you?
We've been giving our opinion about that rat for how long?
For a long time.
You know?
A long time.
Not only should he be released, clean out his desk and what's the word when you
They
got,
should
when you got
reopen
you got-
Northville and
you
put
got-
him right in there.
what do you call it when you got germs and you disinfect? Yeah, disinfect the office, and then bring some of the mentally impaired people, the children,
Yes.
whose mothers and fathers committed suicide and all this kind of stuff because they couldn't get help, and help him to his car.
No,
Help him to
they
his
should
car.
not help him to the car.
I
They
think they
should-
should help him to
I'd
the
be done
car.
told my child, get him to the car.
Why help him to the car? We take all the lights in the parking lot and close them off and the cameras. Caller, you're on the air. Thank
good
you
evening.
for calling Ask Welfare Rights. Go ahead.
And good evening, ladies. How are you?
Oh,
We're
fine.
fine, sir.
Okay, well, and speaking about former Governor John Engler, I mean, he was never the right person for that job anyway. Because when he was sitting in the governor's house, in one of those female prisons, some of the female prisoners were being sexually harassed, and not even harassed, but they were having hands laid on. And I'm being nice because I know this is a G-rated show.
That's right.
That's right.
And when the UN wanted to come in and investigate, he told them, like, no, we got, there's nothing going on here. And long story short, the state ended up paying those inmates who had been harassed and I guess maybe who had filed charges, something like about $10 million, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, you have put yet another star next to this guy's name.
Not
'cause,
star, Marie.
Well,
X.
some of them is a fallen star,
X.
But no, he shouldn't have been there ever. But I remember that scandal, and that's yet another reason. But it's just so amazing that somebody called him and thought he could be interim president of a college.
Exactly.
A guy
And
with all of
paid him a
this,
six-figure.
six-figure salary. A guy with all this dirt on him,
And
Caller.
and then when you consider all of the people who are qualified that have been presidents
Yes.
of colleges,
Yes.
they wouldn't go around. I mean, I know they were trying to find somebody fast, but
But
they could have found,
that is not the way.
Yeah,
to
it
go
was a
about
whole
it.
lot of fast people they
People-
could have
yeah,
found.
but
And
they
you
could-
so
they
right,
could have
caller.
found somebody fast better than John Engler.
You know, caller, thank you so much for reminding us of that yet another page of disgrace, okay?
All right.
And
You have
thank
a
you
good
so
weekend.
very much. Thank
All
you
right.
very much. Caller, thank you for waiting. Thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. You're on the air.
Well, my name is Patty, and my mother was in those mental institutions that he closed down. After he closed them down, it was she went downhill and ended up dying anyhow. But he shouldn't be president of anything or even a
Now,
CEO or anything else.
now, where was your mom? Was she at Lafayette?
Yeah, that's where
Uh-huh.
she was.
Uh-huh. And she
Yes.
probably got excellent care there.
Oh yeah, she was
Yeah, that
doing
was a
real good.
good
Isn't
Real
that
place.
good.
something? And I remember when they were putting the residents of the facility out in their night clothes.
Yes.
I never saw nothing like that.
And now
But
it's a
Yep.
private
you know, and
charter
now
school.
what you say? They after she left there, her health went down, and you couldn't keep her.
No,
I
that
know.
was over.
I know, I know. I hear your heart. I hear your tears. I feel you, 'cause I know that was awful. And it feels like it was just the other day, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Feels that way now. You keep bringing that guy up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you
Well,
have to come and join. Wait a minute,
yeah,
Mo. You have to come and join
yeah,
us, because when they
Oh,
yeah,
moved to do that,
yeah. We
they
remind
were
people
laying
of
the
that.
bricks for people like your mother and us to die. Because they
yep.
didn't care about your mother. They didn't care. You know, if so, John Engler would have put a halt on that.
Yeah,
But
he
no,
did.
he sent the state police to try to stop us from
Keeping them
demonstration.
prisoners and keeping them patients in there.
Uh-huh.
Caller, you're in our prayers, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you for
My
calling.
goodness, my goodness. You know, I remember that so well. So well. That's she didn't hang up yet. All right, so 868-4336, 868-0351. We're down to about our last 20 minutes.
Maureen,
Yeah.
we have a couple other things to talk about. On
Mhm.
Saturday,
Tomorrow?
talking about tomorrow, at 12 high noon, we again will be at the water department down on Randolph, downtown. We're looking for you to show up.
What's the address? 730,
Something.
735?
It's on
Something like that.
yeah, something like-
735 Randolph. 12
Uh-huh.
o'clock, high noon.
High noon. Don't give us no more excuse. I couldn't come because I was overslept. Because we can't. How long you think we can stay out? Constantly fighting these devils, and you're not there with us. But you benefit for what we
Yeah, our
win.
sacrifice. You got to
So
come out
again-
and stand with us.
Again on Saturday morning. That hour goes so fast. On Saturday morning, just 1 hour.
1 hour,
We
12
will
to
be
1.
looking for you.
And you don't have to march. There's
No.
places to park down there.
Bring
Alrighty.
your chair, a
Bring
fold-up
your
chair.
folding chair. I got a really nice, I had that chair. That was Mama's
Please,
chair.
Please.
And had those little nylon strips across the
Forget
back.
that. Let's
And that
move
chair
on.
weighs just a few grams. It don't even weigh a pound.
I can't even sit. I have a.
Every time I get you in that chair, you won't get out because it's so comfortable. That's a wonderful
Well, you should
chair.
have brought two that day.
Well, Mama
but I
only
got
had
my
one.
own chair.
But yeah, come on down and bring you a great big jug of cranberry juice. And it's going to be hot tomorrow.
Oh my
So,
God! And that should
bring
go fast.
some water.
Uh-huh.
All right, bring you some water to drink, and don't be surprised if somebody might walk by and pour a little water on your head.
That's
and
right.
at first you don't, hey, what you doing? And then it starts to feel good
Yes.
as it goes down your back. So
And
come on
then-
down and join us noon from 12 to 1 and stand watch with us. 1 hour.
Now we
Go ahead.
have we're bringing the Poor People's Campaign to Detroit, and this is on Monday. Some of you said you couldn't go to Lansing. Well, it's in your backyard.
18.
On the 18th, which is Monday, we want to see as many people as can get down there to Central United Methodist Church at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. in the morning. Now, you sit back and you talk about you're losing your insurance, you're losing your job, your children don't get a decent education, but these emergency managers are still making money off of our back.
6 figures.
I mean, come on out. We're not asking you to be out there all day long, but you need to come out and join this demonstration around the attacks that we are experiencing each day.
Now let me say something about that too, Mary,
Oh,
because a lot
give
of
them the
people
address.
are saying, well, Central is at 23 East Adams. Really, where it is, it's on Woodward Avenue between Grand Circus Park and Elizabeth Street,
That's
which
right.
is right across the street from the Fox Theater. The Fox Theater was behind you, Marion, and
Yeah.
you looking at Woodward, you would cross the street and go to the right,
right.
and that's Elizabeth right there. The church is right there. But Marion, let me just add a little bit to that Monday activity.
It's key.
10 o'clock is when people going to start to gather. And there's several things going on. There are a lot of people coming to Detroit on that day to participate in this Monday activity, okay?
Look who's and they've been participating.
They can't hear you.
They have been participating every Monday.
Yeah, every Monday.
People
you
from
know.
up north,
They've
people
been coming
from the
down
west.
every week, you know.
I mean, and why can't you show up in your own city?
All right, now let me say this. Sharon McPhail lives on the east side of Detroit, and she is driving close to the Chrysler. Now, very few people drive over there by that Chrysler, Marion, you and her and Sylvia, because that Chrysler got all them trucks, and those trucks just about to scare the rest of us. All of us that live on the west side, we don't want nothing to do with that Ford freeway, and especially with that Chrysler. We ain't have no interest in that. But Superintendent McPhail had, started up a conversation with a couple of the folks that was out there on I-75 in Larned.
That's
And,
where I usually give stuff to
a lot
the
of people,
homeless.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
be 3-4 people there. Well, she started conversations with different people and struck up a friendship with Mr. Gordon King. And at that time, we talking 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago at least. It might even have been more. And she would go by and see him and, offer him a sandwich. She would make a sandwich for him and give him a couple of dollars. And, have a conversation. Of course, people are blowing the horn. Get the hell on out the way and all that, So, after a while, she found out that he had been out on the streets, Marion, for at least 10 or 12 years. And living in abandoned buildings. And he was already 59 and 60 years of age. So he'd been out on the streets since he was in his 40s. And she was pretty upset by that. He came down to the school, talked to a lot of us about him, we have to do something about this. Well, Ms. McPhail, there are thousands of homeless people. Yeah, but we got to do something about this one. Well, Ms. McPhail, there are homeless people on all the freeways. Yeah, but we got to do, okay, all right. So we got involved and got with Neighborhood Services Organization, demanded that they went over there, cried a little bit there because Chapman and Jennings and some of them other folks, Ron Riggins. Boy, we love Ron Riggins. They're gone now. And there was a time we could just call them, and they would go out and pick folks up and take
That's
them
right.
inside. But, so they got involved, and we sent the right people, and they finally were able to get him off the streets. And they found him a subsidized apartment, and they paid for it. And Ms. McPhail went over there and took a futon and a chair. The rest of us started getting linen, and here come the TV, and here come the shower curtains, and all of this happened. And then, he ended up losing that apartment because of some paperwork. Madness. And we believe it was paperwork that was generated by the owner of the building, who padlocked it and threw all the people out and went into every apartment, Marion, and stole everything. I mean, it's
They
just...
might not have owned that place.
we believe it was the folks that owned it, but just horrible stuff like that. But anyway, we didn't find that out for 3 or 4 months, and here he is still outside. What are you doing out here? And he told us what happened. So we had to go around and get back with the NSO. Come on, you got to find another place. So he was over there on Charlotte Street. And I went over with Mr. Boykin and picked him up and took him over to... to the warehouse, Capuchins.
Okay.
And Professor Reggie Huff is over there. And I told him, you're going to have to get yourself cleaned up and everything. Marion, the man went in there and took a shower, came out. He walked right past me. I didn't recognize him. He was so clean, so good looking. They went and got him a haircut. Reggie Ruff and them took him and got him a haircut, got him a suit, gave him a new overcoat, some new shoes, cleaned him up, washed him. He come out of that place, and I looked. I didn't even know who he was. He was a good-looking man. So we took him back to his apartment, and we were just screaming all the way. You been hiding up under all of this mess? Yeah, I'm a looker. So all of this was going on, and he had linen and all kind of stuff. Was just doing so well, Marion. And then 3-4 months go by, we couldn't find him. I said, well, that's not unusual. A couple times he been in the hospital, pneumonia, deep breathing stuff. Well, long story short, Marion, we find out that he died of natural causes in his apartment. So somebody found it. What is that? We can't find him. We can't wake him up. We think he's in there. And they found him. And so what happened was, all I could think of, I told Madam Superintendent, I hated to tell her, but nobody respected this guy, cared for him until she found him. And then she brought him to the rest of us, and we started to care for him. Nobody respected him. Nobody cared for him. Nobody had an interest in him until that moment. Nobody cares now because he's down at the Wayne County Medical Examiners. And he's been there for months. Nobody's claimed him because we didn't know he was there. He has no family. I called everywhere I could, and I thought, Richard Burnell, let me write something down here. And they called me back. The medical examiner called. Say, yeah, we got him. But nobody's looked for him in over 2 months. And so that means he's into this routine now, where now we have to do a national search for the next 60 days to find out if there is any family. And then so 2 months, then another 2 months. And then these next 2 months after that, Marion, if nobody claims him, we've got thousands of unclaimed bodies down at the Wayne County morgue, and we will cremate them 20 to 30 at a time.
Why can't we have
boy.
services for him?
They said no. I asked that question because he's been unclaimed for so long.
And I'm
He's
thinking
now,
that's one of the guys I used to talk to.
It very well could be. Brown skin. His real name is Gordon Leon King. But let me tell you what the plan is going to be. We're going to bury him at the at the Central United Methodist Church garden. Okay? And we'll have his ashes, but we're going to have that ceremony this Monday with all of these folks from the Poor People's Campaign, from the People's Water Board, from We the People, all the clergy, so it should be 50 or 60 folks. Poverty killed him. And nobody cared anything about him and nothing else. But in life, he didn't amount to anything. But we're going to have one of the most wonderful memorial services and take him right on out there and bury him out there with Jen and whoever else we got, by Nida, and all the rest of the people that we care for. We're going to put him right out there with the rest of us. So in death, he don't have to be alone. He don't have to be alone. So if for no other reason, folks that are listening to this broadcast tonight, you need to come on out. McPhail will be there. She's going to read some words that she wrote because she's just devastated about this. This man was not related to any of us, but she had a connection with this guy and took care of him. I remember the shower curtains that I took that were clear, and they had rabbits on it. And, well, what is this? I said, shower curtains, and they're clear. But all the parts that need to be hidden are behind the rabbits. And he just fell out laughing, But if nothing else, come down. We're going to have this memorial service about 1 o'clock, Mary. It ain't going to last but about 30 minutes because there ain't a lot to say. He's already laying in the arms of the Spirit. So about 1 o'clock, come on down to Central.
The demonstration.
Before the demonstration.
1 o'clock.
Yeah, we're going to rally at the church.
Right.
And then we're going to rally at the church. And then we're going to lay our brother down. And then we're going to leave the building and go on to the other activities that I won't speak on the phone. But come down and say goodbye to a guy that you didn't know. Gordon Leon King, birthday April 9th, 1953. I wrote the paperwork for him, Marion, back in March for him to get SSI benefits. I'm tearing up thinking about it. And I was wondering, how come I wrote him a letter? How come you don't say something about that?
I think it started at 1.
No, it don't, but that's all right.
Go ahead.
But how come he don't answer? and he was going to be approved for SSI on the 9th of April on his birthday. And I start writing him in March. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I need to talk to you about these benefits. His check would have been $773 times 3. So his first check would have been about $2,300. And I had already talked to him. When you get it, can't go out and spend it everywhere. I don't know if you got drinking habits or anything, but you can't go out. And I was so looking forward to that. So looking forward to being able to have a birthday party for the man. And we would have had a birthday party right out there on his corner.
That's right.
You know, but come on out. Central, Monday, Woodward
10 a.m.
Avenue at 10 o'clock is when we're going to start gathering. And we'll be there. That's on Woodward between Grand Circus Park and Elizabeth. So come on out.
The
So, all right,
other
Mary,
thing-
you got 8 minutes.
Boy,
Boy, that biscuit looks good. Go ahead.
leave that biscuit alone. Okay, we covered all of it. So,
Did we tell everything?
mm-hmm.
All right, well, the 29th. All right, we want to make certain that on the 29th, that's 2 Fridays from today, folks should meet us down at MGM Grand. You all know where the MGM Grand is. Don't be acting like you fresh. You know where that casino
They
is.
know where it is.
So come on down there. The parking is free. It says 8 o'clock start, but that's really the breakfast from 8 to 8:55, and I think the program starts at 9. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you. So are you in town on that day? You have to come. Guess who one of the educators and one of the workshop leaders is going to be? And no point in you guessing because you'll never guess. George Wiley had how many kids? Do you know?
I only
Yeah,
knew,
sit up here.
I only knew he had 2 children, I think.
Maya.
Maya is the girl.
Maya is one of our speakers.
Oh Lord, Maya, can you met
Maya Wiley. She was at the Wayne County Community College
But-
when I was there last month.
No, but you met Maya. She came to the office to talk to me about her daddy
How long ago?
when we were over at the Hannon house.
Oh, Mary, you know how long we've been away from the Hannon house?
I be there.
Been
every
away
week.
from the Hannon house
I'm
for
there.
14 years.
Maureen, I'm almost there every week.
Yeah, but that's not for dinner and lunch. That's something different. But she's one of our speakers. She's going to be here on the 29th. She's actually
know
in
Maya.
town tonight. But I didn't have a chance to get with her. But
Where is
she'll
she
be
tonight?
here. I don't know. The Allied Media Conference starts.
Oh, that's right.
And so she's participating in that. But I told her, might not be enough time for us to get together with her this evening. But we will see her on the 29th at that event. And I asked her to try to stay around. That's on a Friday. Could she stay through Saturday? She said yes. And we're going to go and get her, take her to dinner.
Yes.
Maya. Now tell us who George Wiley is, because people may not know. Who is
George,
George Wiley?
George was the assistant director of CORE, Congress of Racial Equality, in the Civil Rights Movement. He and I and a bunch of other folks, we worked in Louisiana. After that, he became the director of the National Welfare Rights Organization for years. George was a person that graduated from, what's the name of the school?
Howard?
No, up north, way up north.
Whatever.
Uh-huh. And he was engineer in engineering and all that stuff. I'm forgetting. But he married and had 2 children. But George gave that his profession up and stayed out there organizing with welfare rights. He later on in life, he and his children and them were on a boat, and George was an excellent swimmer, Maureen. And he took a dive, into the water, and they said that he had drowned. We always suspect something was wrong in that situation because
Just a moment.
that was a hard thing to accept. And, I still, as I talk about it, I always think about it and say, we always thought the FBI or someone else had something to do with George leaving us.
Caller, you on the air. You're going to be our last caller of the evening. You're on the air.
I'm on the air.
Yes.
Oh, what's going on? What up?
Caller, were you calling Ask Welfare Rights?
I mean, I was calling because I had a question.
Go right ahead with your question.
Well, hold on.
What's your question, sir?
I think he's gone.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Maya is an attorney,
Yeah.
and she does cases with poverty law
Yeah.
and deals with cases. I'm not sure,
She's behind, taking up her father's
you know.
responsibility in another way on the legal end. She's been trying to pull information
Yes.
together. She had come and visited a lot of us that knew George, and to write a book on her father. But her father had one of the books that had been written on him is still out here, that Francis Pippin and Richard Clow had wrote, and is used a lot of time in the School of Social Work. But she's this young lady has been
She's
out
just
there.
fabulous. 'Cause this is the
Yes.
first time I didn't know who she was at first, and she was at the anniversary event at Wayne County Community College, and she was a keynote speaker.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't know that she was a keynote speaker till I got the program, and her name was there.
Mm-hmm.
Susan, look, hey, that says Maya Wiley. I wonder. And I went and
That's-
asked around, and that's who it was.
Yeah.
So we've been communicating a little bit off and on.
She's
But
on
she'll
all
be
the
here the
time.
29th.
She and Judy Sanders, Beulah Sanders' daughter, have been working together as much as they can to be able to commemorate their parents and what they had done for
Yes.
society as a whole. Judy is trying to get a street in Harlem named after her mother, Beulah Sanders.
Well, I tell you one thing, and I regret it, and I keep talking about the same thing. I mentioned it to Miss Eastside. I said it to her many times over the years, that we have to sit down and chronicle some of the information, the data, the empirical data, the memories, and the history of what was happening over in the Black Bottom, what was happening over at Brewster, and Miss Persons was involved, and now she's sick, and we're not going to be able to get that history from her.
'Cause that
And
woman had
she
history.
had a whole bunch of history, knew a lot of things,
Wonderful.
detailed things, and
Walking encyclopedia.
waited too long and can't get it. And callers and folks that are watching this broadcast, less, little, all kind of history.
We need to do something.
We're
for
going to
Miss
have to
Eastside.
sit down and chronicle the history of the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and what has happened, Marion, through the time when we had forced a bankruptcy on us and forced emergency managers on us and just ripped Highland Park apart, starting with the Chrysler factory closing. I haven't, and I meant to talk to you and Sylvia both about that. We got to get in the car, maybe when I'm off work, and ride up to Auburn Hills. Now, I know what happened when Chrysler shut down in Highland Park and how quickly the tax base, everything started to
You wrote
dwindle.
it.
Now, Chrysler was up in Auburn Hills for a long time, and then they shut down. So I wonder now, what does Auburn Hills look like? I would like us to go up there and drive around and just try to take a look and, chronicle what's happening when your tax base goes away,
I ran into it one day. And I said, "Oh, this is where you escaped to." I'm talking, in the car, with the kids, and it was like sitting back at that
And
time,
watching.
like in the woods or something like. But very nice and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I
That's
want to
up
see
there
what it
away
look like
from the
now.
people.
Yeah, but what does it look like now?
It's a town.
I'm talking about since Chrysler's has pulled out.
Oh yeah.
So now, certain amenities and finances and resources that were available to those folks for a long time. Let's see if the stores are starting to close up and
No,
wood
I
is
don't
on
know.
the doors and if the dry cleaners that always was the place, if it's closed up and there's a gate on the door and all of that kind of stuff, because see, we'll get a chance to look at that, and I feel bad that we're not going to be able to take Miss Eastside with us. I want to get over to Canada, Marion, while I'm off, and get over there and look at some of this housing. Trump done got into a screaming match with Trudeau, and I like Trudeau. I don't know what he argued about. I want us to go over there we've been invited to talk to the health department in Windsor so they can explain how it is that they're able to provide health care for all Canadian citizens. And I want us to go over there. We've been invited 2 times. Plus,
Well, let's go.
we need to go see John Clark. He was on TV about a week and a half ago. John looks cute. He had cut his hair all off, and he's wearing the earring in his ear. And, you know, we invited to go there, and we need to go to these places
Say
and write
good
this
night,
history.
Maureen.
Why? We got 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Did you see the clock right there?
I see the clock.
Yes, we have 3 minutes. You want to say good night for 3 minutes?
You know, I just want to say, listen, because she gonna go on, and we're
This is a live radio broadcast. You have to talk.
Shit. Thank you for my biscuit, and it's so good to be here with you folks again tonight. Let us see you on those days that we have mentioned to you.
All righty, Marion suggested tomorrow at noon. Please join us at the Water Department, 745 Randolph Street, downtown Detroit. We'll be there at noon. Only an hour. Stand with us from 12 until 1. On Monday, we'll start gathering at Central United Methodist Church, and we start gathering at 10. Okay, the funeral for the memorial service for Mr. Gordon Leon King will start about 1 o'clock. So come on down and let's send him off with good spirits. Lord willing and the creek don't rise, next Friday we will be here. Goodbye.